Hello everyone and welcome to the Grove. My name is Samurai Rev and it's that time of year again when I participate in Unus Annus Day. Unus Annus was a channel by Markiplier and Crank Gameplays. It only existed for a single year to remind its viewers that everyone dies eventually and it's good to make the most of the time we have left. It ended in 2020, but I'm trying to keep up the tradition of making an art piece and doing a video about it every year on its anniversary. Or at least a video. It doesn't have to be about Unus Annus specifically. This is one of the reasons why I thought it fitting this year that I focused the video around Technoblade. Technoblade passed away earlier this year, but it has always inspired me in what I do. So while I talk about him, there'll be a speed paint of his Minecraft avatar in the background. Also, if it sounds like I'm reading off of something, that is because I am. I decided to write a script so I wouldn't be rambling during this video. I don't remember the exact year I found his content, as I often came across clips of either people reacting to him or one of his videos being requested in the side feed. I do remember that I really began watching him when he was doing the Potato Wars, so it's been at least a few years. I really just fell in love with his humor, his storytelling, and his combat skills. I don't usually watch Minecraft channels that focus on PvP because that's not something I usually focus on when I play. But his Skywars videos were so satisfying to watch, and he did a great job of telling stories from his past, so it ended up being the exception. I remember one time listening to a fan song about the blade to and from work, and I decided to train so I could be a little more confident about combat, so I could be more like him. So for almost an hour, for almost 2 full months, I trained on 1.8 combat just so I could get better at melee and range fighting. I'm still not very good outside of bow duels, as was expected, but I'm less scared of melee fighting now, so I don't think that I would be as determined or even as willing to do something like that if I wasn't inspired. But that's not the main reason I've enjoyed his content. Techno did a wonderful job on the storytelling front, and not just telling stories from his past. The way he treated his videos as linear stories was just amazing. And for example, when one watches the Potato War, they don't just watch a "here's how I bit a squid" video, but rather a tale between two generals fighting for a top slot and the honor to call themselves king. There were challenges, there were ups and downs, and he highlighted everything in such a cohesive way. When I create my Minecraft videos on my other channel, I want to be like that. Even if this is something that could be silly to others, I want to show my progress, my tale through those experiences. I want to show others why I cared, and how I grew from that experience. And this extends to how I feel about his Dream SMP character. His character, on the surface, was a simple anarchist pig. Techno joined the server to be part of a revolution against Manberg, and when the dust finally settled, he discovered that the people he had tried to help were simply trying to replace a president they disliked with one that they wanted. They didn't see the harm they were allowing to happen, as all governments have the problem of absolute power. And as the English historian Lord Acton said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. This was one side of his character that remained constant, but the other side was rooted in how he was loyal to those he called a friend. So when one digs deeper, one finds a man who felt betrayed again and again while he was only trying to keep others from being corrupted by power. He felt betrayed by those revolutionaries as they had not fought for true freedom, but rather stayed fighting for a country that had already once betrayed them. Those people were so scared of him fighting against them that an army was sent after him. In order to find him, they put one of his friends, Filza, under house arrest. Techno still fought them, not wanting to give up his own freedom, but when his horse, an innocent animal, was threatened, he went to his own execution. He would escape, but any cords of friendship that had been tied to the revolutionaries had not only been severed, but burned. Later, Techno would free his friend from house arrest. When it came for Remembrance to be destroyed for the last time, he was present with his army of dogs, ready to fight at his side with the steadfast Filza, his dearest friend. Among my favorite Techno moments on the SMP was the cow monologue. It was right after the Manberg Revolution, and he lamented on how his cows were slaughtered without care. Yes, in Minecraft they are simply bred as a resource, but only one cow had remained, and the only reason it did was because it hid from the revolutionaries that tried to drain the resources of the blade without thinking. My favorite line was, "What crimes did my cows commit? What guilt had they?" They were innocents caught in the crossfire, and Technoblade highlighted this. Technoblade always had a strong presence. One can find many clips of people running from him in PvP tournaments, not wanting to face him. If you had Technoblade on your side, there was a high chance of victory. But I'm not a fighter. I'm more likely to be caught in the crossfire myself, like one of those cows. But Techno made his presence strong by never yielding, by staying true to himself and staying loyal to his allies. I want to be like that, to never give up. If I'm caught in the crossfire as a character in a story, I want to use that to characterize others. What do people do to those who they view as unimportant, as simple common folk? And if I'm the one in a position of power, what do I do to keep the people out of that crossfire? I want to be like Techno and fight until the victory is achieved, or until my last breath is taken from me. Technoblade now lives in a grave, but a legacy born out of death lives beyond the grave, and his legacy will likely live on for centuries. Or at least one can hope. I will miss him, but that doesn't mean that I can't honor his memory. He was truly an amazing person and will continue to inspire me every day. One of the ways I process my emotion is through song. This time was no different. So for the last part of the video, I will sing a song I wrote soon after the announcement of his death was released. I do run out of speed paint footage, so you'll also see a picture that I drew and created over the 4th of July weekend. Originally, the song was going to be the tribute video, but I never got around to making that video. But I am glad I decided to collect my thoughts and fully explain what Technoblade meant to me as one of his fans. So, without further ado, here's what I titled So Long Technoblade. I never met you, never had the chance to, but I looked up to you, and a lot of us did too. You were an inspiration, and you'll be one beyond the grave. But please still rest now. So long, Technoblade. I remember the Sky Wars battles. I remember the Potato War strategy. I remember the defeat of L'Manberg and lessons in Greek mythology. I remember your orphan jokes and your sellout timer. I remember you conquering the world, how negative numbers made you stronger. I can't imagine your family's pain, 'cause even for me sadness does reign. You were an inspiration to us and to me, and news of your death came so painfully. I remember the survival games. I remember the build march strategy. I remember the innocent cows, the fight to promote freedom through anarchy. I remember the Skyblock Rebellion, trying to win a refrigerator, but Sleepy Boys Inc. now has lost one of their key members. Is it silly for me to cry? Is it silly for me to not want to say goodbye? You never knew me, we never meant. I had never even left a comment. But we all didn't want to believe that we would have to grieve. And like many others, I don't want to say, so long, Technoblade. Years from now, your story will be told. Years from now, it won't grow old. Because us fans will keep your memory alive. And in that way, you'll still sort of survive. We'll tell stories of how you fought, how you strategized, how you always sowed fear into your enemies' eyes. We'll tell of every battle, of every single plotline, to keep true that Technoblade never dies. I never thought I'd have to sing, never thought I'd have to say it. I just keep on writing, just so that I can delay it. But every song must end, even if it's nice to just play pretend. So this is the song that I have made. This is my goodbye to Technoblade. Rest in peace, Potato King. You will be missed.